Good evening. It is 5:30. Today is July 21st, 2022, our regular board meeting. We always begin with public comments. Are there any public comments? There being none, I'll call this meeting to order. We will have, we have a new agenda, so I have to get adjusted to this. Invocation this evening, because our students are out for the summer, so invocation will be held by Ms. Dorothy Williams and flag salute by Mrs. Wankum.
Please bow your heads. Oh God, the Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, first we want to say thank you. Thanking you for blessing us to see another day. And as we go into this meeting, Lord, we ask you to lead and guide this board and the administration in things that they can do for the 8,193 students that's in our district. And we ask that we're governed by you and that we get out of the way and do things that are in your name and not in our name. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, flag. Please stand. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Ms. Williams and Ms. Wankum, are your parents here?
Mama's at home. Oh, wait a minute, Mama's right here.
We will have the vision statement and mission statement. Ms. Temple, would you read those for me?
We gotta get it together. I see the vision statement, world-class schools for world-class students. The North Little Rock School District and community will provide for achievement, accountability, acceptance, and the necessary assets in the pursuit of each student's educational success.
All right, roll call of members. Ms. Colquitt?
Dr. Reddas.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Kirsten West.
Present.
Mrs. Temple.
Here.
Mrs. Wankum.
Here.
Mrs. McLean.
Here, even though you can't see me behind this one. I'm feeling a little closed in over here.
And Mr. Steele.
Thank you. Special recognition, Night of Honors, Mr. Dustin Barnes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I would like to ask Miss Marianne Gosser, Jenny Gosser Turner, Leanna Gosser Askins, and Donna Gosser to come to the front to join me in this presentation. As you all know, Night of Honors, you see Night of Honors on here. This is our event where we recognize our teachers and support staff in the North Little Rock School District. They may look a little bewildered, but there is a purpose for this. Y'all can face this way. I would like for it to be this. Okay, take your time.
Take your time.
Okay. We are here today to honor the four Gosser women who have Gosser women who have made contributions to the North Little Rock School District in their own way. First, Miss Marianne Gosser. Marianne Gosser served as a school board member from 1975 to 1985 and was president for 2 terms. According to board member Murray Witcher, Marianne came to every board meeting and was always prepared. She had a heart for students, which guided every decision she made. She wanted all children to get a good education. She was very instrumental during her tenure. There were several key moments that marked Mary Ann's existence and was very instrumental in the following. First, the judge declared North Little Rock, and Pulaski County to consolidate. After much opposition, North Little Rock School District sustained as a district. The board came up with two major solutions that the judge approved in order to sustain the North Little Rock School District. They voted to consolidate Northeast High School and Old Main High School into one high school to provide equality among students. And they voted to have zones throughout the district, and each zone would have a seat as a board member. They also set up volunteer doctors to perform annual physicals for all student athletes, and she, of course, recruited her husband, the late Dr. Bob Gosser, who led the way in this endeavor. Not only was Mary Ann on the school board, prior to and after, she also was involved in PTA, including president of the PTA at North Heights Elementary and Ridge Road Junior High. Mary Ann had 5 children who all attended and graduated from the North Little Rock School District. Jenny Gosser Turner, class of 1978, Bobby Gosser, class of 1979, John Gosser, class of 1980, Leanna Gosser Askins, class of 1985, and April Gosser Cook, class of 1990. Jenny Gosser Turner served as a kindergarten teacher at Amboy Elementary from 1985 to 1988 under Principal Jane Ford. According to fellow teacher Ashley Ingalls, Jenny was not only a favorite to her students, but a favorite to other staff and parents. She had the way of getting on the young students' level and communicating to them and achieved great results. She was fun, energetic, and always gave 110%. She said that Jenny was beautiful inside and out, and the words that come to mind when I think of her back then and even today would be the same: caring, selfless, giving, kind, trustworthy, and considerate, just to name a few. Ashley Ingalls said, Jenny always went out of her way to treat my special needs students with respect. And Jenny always included us in lessons and activities, even in a class play, which wasn't always easy. Jenny would volunteer for anything. She is faithful to God, family, and friends. I am a better person for having her as a teacher, mate, and lasting friend. Even after Jenny's stint as a teacher, she stayed involved as a volunteer for many school activities and support groups, while her daughter, Laura Lee Turner, was attending and graduated North Little Rock School District in 2015. From PTSA, teacher appreciation luncheons, fall carnivals, theater department, and post-prom all were important to Jenny. Leanna Gosser Askins. Leanna is currently the secondary special education coordinator in the Special Services Department. She has had this position since 2018. She began her career in special education as a resource and inclusion teacher at North Little Rock Middle School in 2012. In 2014, she was given a leadership role as the Special Education Due Process Designee, overseeing teachers, due process paperwork, and providing training and support to special education teachers at the 6th grade campus. In 2016, Leanna moved to the Special Services Department in the Administrative Annex as the Elementary Due Process Designee, overseeing paperwork, training of new teachers, and conferences for all elementary special education teachers. During this time, Leanna pursued her educational specialist degree in special education administration from Arkansas State University and graduated in 2018 with this advanced degree. Then in 2018, she was hired as the secondary special education coordinator. Before teaching, Leanna was a supportive parent and volunteer with PTSA and baseball, among other things, while her children were in school. J.J. Askins, class of 2016, and Jessica Askins, both products of the North Little Rock School District. When her supervisor, Dr. Leanna Stoll, was asked, she said, Leanna is an integral part of the Special Services Department. She has a true belief that all students can learn and provides invaluable support to the secondary campuses. Her understanding of special education laws and regulations is outstanding, and compliance is a priority. Leanna's positive attitude and willingness to help others grow is one of Leanna's many talents. She always works diligently with teachers and administrators to positively transform the culture and direction of the Special Services Department. I could not do my job without Leanna Gosser Askins. She is my right hand, confidant, sounding board, and most of all, a trusted friend and colleague. She is always willing to help out in any way and do what is best for the team. Her strong Christian beliefs and moral compass always inspire me to be a better person and leader. I think perhaps Leanna's wonderful gift and talent is being able to come at things as a parent and as an educator. She has a beautiful 20-year-old daughter, Jessica, with Down syndrome, which gives Leanna the ability to relate to the parents of our special needs students in such a positive way. I am honored to be able to write just a few words about this amazing human being. She is such a blessing to the district. We need more Leannas in our district.
Oh my gosh.
Donna Gosser served as the North Little Rock High School choir director from 2010 to 2017. She had three children to go through the North Little Rock School District: Trey Gosser, class of 2009, Alex Gosser, class of 2013, and Mackenzie Gosser Savage, class of 2015. Just 1 year into her tenure, Donna founded and created the North Little Rock High School show choir. Donna single-handedly recruited students from all backgrounds and with varying interests to participate in this class. She had the most diverse group of any classroom. Show choir was a huge success, as evidenced by the waiting list that developed after the first year. Principal Tracy Allen, who hired Donna, had this to say: "What made Donna Gosser a gifted educator was her heart for kids. The best teachers know how to form relationships with their students and get to know them on a personal level before knowing where they work, their siblings, and family structures, and their interests. I would say that Donna is a servant leader. Mrs. Gosser was always willing to help her students. She spent time outside of the normal school hours to help students, whether it was getting them ready for a rehearsal, lipped-up video, or other school activities that help students connect with the school. We need more student advocates like Donna Gosser in our schools." This kind of heart for students was recognized by not only administration and parents, but the students as well. The ultimate example was when she talked to her husband, Bobby Gosser, and a student in her senior class who really had no home. It was at that moment where more than talking about helping or making a gift to a charity became front door reality. Donna invited this student, Dean Carmona, to come and live with her family so he could get the family love and nurturing that Donna knew he was missing. That relationship helped Dean go to college, which was definitely not in the future in his current trajectory. Through this nurturing, Dean has become a fine young man, productive, and is taking care of himself. Student Briley Brazier had brain surgery during the first year of her senior year. Even though Briley was weak, lethargic, and a little down, she came to life when she was having to learn her steps for the show choir routine. Show choir alone physically and mentally challenged Briley and helped her speed her recovery. Briley's desire to please Mrs. Gosser was a testimony of the positive impact Donna bestowed as a teacher. Briley said, "Mrs. Gosser made it fun. We all loved coming to her class. She was so much more than just a choir teacher. We all knew that she really cared about us, about what was going on in our lives," shared Briley Brazier. "As a classroom teacher, I know the importance and value of a teacher that truly loves and cares for all of her students," said Shara Brazier, Briley's mom. Samantha Hawking shared, "Everyone in our school wanted to be in show choir because of Mrs. Gosser. It didn't matter what kind of student you were, a football player, a singer, or not a singer, or whatever your interests were. Mrs. Gosser included everyone. That is what a teacher is all about." When student Kennedy West was asked about Donna, she said, "Mrs. Gosser told me that I should never be afraid to use my God-given talents. She was always pushing us and building our confidence. I remember when she asked me to be vice president of the show choir. I would have never done that without her believing in me and pushing me." Mrs. Gosser's show choir class was a favorite time of day and where I made many friends and lifelong bonds. Will you please join me in saying thank you to these 4 amazing Gosser women? So you all stay right there. So they say it takes a village to raise a child. That is truly an example of it takes a community to educate and grow our students. For it is that reason that Bobby Gosser wanted to give honor to his mom, 2 sisters, and wife. Today, Bobby is giving a gift to help North Little Rock School District Night of Honors to celebrate and bring honor to many deserving teachers in this district. The annual awards banquet will be financially assisted with this leading perpetual gift for the next 10 years, as well as a cash gift to the teacher who is awarded Teacher of the Year. Now, help me to say thank you, Bobby Gosser, for this honor for these ladies. A gift of $50,000. And we will also rename this award the NLRSD Teacher of the Year, presented by the Bobby Gosser family. Okay.
Mom always, do you want to say something? No. We are prepared. We say thank you.
I will say it was tough to keep this a secret. In fact, it got out a little bit when I was trying to gather up a couple of our siblings during a family event, but pulled it off. Obviously, they didn't know about it. But the idea came to me when I was at the Night of Honors award ceremony, I guess about a month or so ago, and I thought, man, I would really like to get involved in this and make it even bigger and better. So I visited with the committee, and so this is kind of what we came up with. And so thanks to the committee for allowing me to participate, and just to really, came out of the blue that I have a really desire to say thank you to these ladies that are in my life, and I know what they've meant to the district over the years. And, we need more community, champions to help Little Rock, and I think that's why we're world class in our education. So thank y'all for helping me pull this off. And
I just want to say one thing. I just want to thank you, Bobby, and your entire family for their service to the North Little Rock School District. This is another example of what's great about the North Little Rock School District and the North Little Rock community, where you just can't hide that charging Wildcat pride.
I want to ask you all, and of course our committee and Dr. Paluski, we'll get a group picture. So.
Ms. Gosser, don't you want to come out of retirement?
Just into the chair lay back. Thank you. Here, just sit there, sit in the chair. Yeah, sit in the chair back there. Step up. I'll get in after him. Did you see that banner? I'm gonna get one on this phone real quick. I got one. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Got it. Thank you.
Maybe crystals. It's crystals.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The next item on our agenda is an executive closed session. Being that we have a new format and it is public knowledge now, the whole entire statement, tonight will be the last time that I read the whole thing. Executive closed session per North Lark School District Policy 1.14A stating that private or closed discussions by the board may occur as part of a regular or special board meeting. Executive sessions may be held only for the purpose of considering employment, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of an employee, or to discuss matters of pupil punishment if requested by the parent or legal guardian. No resolution, agreement, or motion considered in the executive session shall be legally binding unless the board reconvenes in public session and presents the item for a vote of the membership. Further, Arkansas Code Title 25, Chapter 19, Section 106, 2C1 states, the specific purpose of the executive session shall be announced in public before going into executive session. So that's what I'll be doing going forward, is just letting you know why we're going into executive session. Executive closed session, please join me in executive closed session to discuss employment, appointment, promotion, or resignation of an employee.
I'm excited.
We do not need the laptops back there, right?
Okay, we are back in session. We're down to 8.1, board involvement. Nope.
I did was, since it's summer, had opportunity with, also Dr. Paluski to attend the S.A. Jones, all-class reunion banquet, and Ms. Williams was there too, and, where they honored the North Little Rock Six, and, yeah.
Superintendent?
Very good.
I have
on-
something to report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
though.
I'm sorry.
I went to Mr. Stone's reception
Yeah, I did,
honoring
yeah.
him.
Forgot
And
about
then
that.
I also attended the Arkansas School Board Association meeting for new board members.
Awesome.
That was very enlightening. I heard a lot about audits and FOIA and FERPA and all these names like that. School and safety and budget, a lot about budget. So I have a lot of questions.
Awesome.
And I would like to iterate on what you said about the Scipio Africana Jones High School, the historical black school in North Little Rock. We had the opportunity, there were 6 students on the same day that Central High School was trying to be integrated. They had the Little Rock 9, we had the North Rock 6, but it did not carry the publication as it did in Little Rock. So out of those 6 that we had, only one, because I was in the 7th grade when he was in high school, but they did not get an opportunity to enroll in the high school. So therefore, only one of them, some have passed away, and 2 got Alzheimer's.
No, he don't have Alzheimer's. One of them is my uncle, and he had a knee replacement.
That's so, yeah. Right.
He
So
had a total
anyway,
knee
The
replacement.
beautiful part of it is to see
Going
someone
out
who
of
climbed the steps of North Little Rock High School. Thank you.
Gerald Person.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go, Madam President, members of our board, I'll go very quickly. June 27th, I had an opportunity to attend the Innovation Hub in regards to having a conversation about our unsheltered youth and unsheltered adults here in North Little Rock. On July the 7th, Dr. Hooper and myself and our principal, Dr. Nadia St. Louis, is here. I want to recognize her. This was the first time that we had a summer graduation ceremony, and that was Dr. St. Louis's idea of those students that didn't graduate in May. They did, and I want to thank her for her leadership for that, of starting that new tradition in our school district. I attended as well with our fellow board members about the Scipio Jones. It was wonderful. Also on the 19th of July, I met with Rock Region Metro about a partnership of potentially giving some of our students free bus passes. And then obviously you've heard today about our Leadership Institute that we've been knee-deep in this week and next week.
Awesome. All righty. 9.1, classified personnel policies committee report. They're out. Okay. 9.2, licensed personnel policy report.
There's none.
Keep going. 10.1, forward NGL and NLHS, ninth grade academy.
Madam President, members of our Board of Education, I'd like to welcome our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Hooper, our Executive Director, Mrs. Amy Jordan, Ms. Christy Barr from our partnership with the Little Rock Chamber, and Dr. Nadia St. Louis, Principal of North Little Rock High School.
So good evening again, members of the board, board president, Dr. Paluski. So the purpose of this presentation is to give you a brief overview, brief overview of the North Little Rock High School academies that is yet to come, that you've been hearing a lot about for our ninth grade students, along with the collaboration of the Forward Next Generation Learning Initiative. And in this, I just want to introduce some key people. One, Ms. Amy Jordan, our new Executive Director of Secondary School Performance. Ms. Christy Barr from the Little Rock Regional Chamber Workforce. And of course, the one and only, Dr. Nadia St. Louis, High School Principal.
And Dr. Hooper, before we get started, I do want to recognize Mr. Darrell Hartwick, who is our president and big supporter of North Little Rock, our North Little Rock Chamber executive president as well, and we welcome you, sir.
And a North Little Rock grad too, right?
And Ms. Amy Jordan will be supporting the work with Dr. St. Louis in this initiative.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me, and thank you for that, Dr. Paluski. I was also going to introduce Daryl as one of our key partners in this initiative, and also want to take an opportunity to introduce Marcus Jewett, who has joined our Little Rock Regional Chamber team. He's in his 4th day at the Chamber, started this week, and is going to be leading the effort for Academies of Central Arkansas moving forward as we kind of transition some of that work. So this is really just an opportunity to give you a reminder and an overview of what the broader Academies of Central Arkansas initiative is, prior to Dr. St. Louis telling you where North Little Rock High School is at in its implementation. So this is a joint initiative of the 4 public school districts, all 5 chambers of commerce. It was a cooperative agreement signed by all of those school districts and ratified by the boards back in 2019. And this is the number 1 priority for our Chamber of Commerce for economic development reasons, to support increased enrollment in the high schools, increased population growth for Pulaski County, improved perception of quality education across the region, talent pipeline creation for our employers. So those are the reasons why, as a Chamber of Commerce, we were very interested in doing something around public education. And the reason we selected, again, this is the map showing all of the communities, the 12 high schools that are all involved in this. Some are further along than others. I would say Jacksonville High School and Southwest Little Rock High School started a little earlier and in junior and senior year implementations. The rest of our schools are all at freshman year. And this is a little bit about, we knew we wanted to do something around public education, and why we chose Ford NGL and why we chose Academies specifically. All means all within this model. So within this model, it is every student. It's not a program that highlights just 10 or 20 students, maybe 100 students here or there. It is everyone. It's about success. All students graduate college ready and career ready and prepared to be lifelong learners. It rejects the notion that as a school or as a community, we predetermine which students are going where and kind of pigeonhole them into one. They're all being prepared to do both and get to make that choice on their own. It's a custom fit. By having smaller learning communities, you ensure that every student is known by their teachers, and you can provide a tailor-made experience for them. Again, we mentioned provides choices for students, right? They're given opportunities to choose a learning experience that's going to make their core classes relevant to them and give them exposure to careers and opportunities that they get to pick and choose. Teachers are supported and given a voice, again, through these small learning communities. Students get a lot of additional experiences, right? You're adding career exposure for every single student in your high school, but still giving them the opportunity to participate in all the electives they want, AP classes, extracurricular activities, since you're not busing them to a career center to take those career classes. And through the business partnerships that we'll bring, it really gives relevant learning to the students, lasting partnerships with business partners and mentorship opportunities for those students. So I know we want to be really brief. You probably all are very familiar with Academy structure, but it does blend a career class with core academics. So a student would be in a themed academy. They would learn their core classes through the lens of that academy and then take freshman seminar as part of the freshman academy, and then 3 consecutive career classes. One is a sophomore, junior, senior that would build upon each other to prepare them for concurrent credit and industry recognized certifications. This is a model through the Ford NGL network, which is part of the philanthropic arm of the Ford Motor Company. Works kind of in 3 major buckets to transform what happens in the classroom, what happens in how you organize and master schedule the school, and how business engages with the school. We're part of a network, so you can see that we get to share best practices with communities throughout the country who are also implementing this model. And because of that, we get access to their data that shows us how this is working and how this is improving performance and metrics throughout the country. So Nashville, Tennessee has been doing this the longest. They started in 2006, and you can look at where their graduation rate was and where it is now. That's one of the things that really sold us on this model, is it's not all about college and it's not all about career. It really is about improved core academics and improved performance and engagement for the students. You see that in attendance rate, you see it in suspension rate, certifications, dual credit, advanced placement. Students care about being at school because they like what they're learning and they see the relevance throughout all their classes. From a chamber standpoint, again, we look at this from a macroeconomic standpoint. In Nashville, because of that increase in graduation rate, you have 16,000 plus students that graduated from high school that previously wouldn't have. Just a high school diploma alone translates to about $9,600 a year in earning potential, which is $156 million in economic impact that turns over in the community every year, saying nothing about those that get an industry credential or concurrent credit or go on to post-secondary as a result. So again, just some performance metrics we'll flip through really fast. Ford and GL used to do pocket academies, and the results on these next few slides show that performance was so much better in academies that they no longer offer that and only will work with communities that will do wall-to-wall. So you see the communities that started this way, double-digit improvements in graduation rates, double-digit improvements in just 1 year with freshman seminar around in and out of school suspension, tardiness, absences. You see students engaged in their learning. Hampton, Virginia, again, look at the suspension rate, the GPA for students that were in academies versus not in academies. So this is the data that gets us really excited about this model. So I'll end with what we think are the critical next steps for the school district, the high school, and COE. A lot of these are potentially already underway, but the steps that we think need to come next is to have that strong district lead who's going to guide the implementation for this for the district, the high school, and the COE. Have a district implementation plan that would complement the regional academies plan that is created. A timeline for communication and communication of that structure, both to parents, to the community, to teachers and students. Hire an academy coach who would report to the principal and be housed out of the high school to ensure the successful implementation at the school level, and would serve as that liaison for business partnerships. Finalize academies and pathways at the high school, and then we do have business partners that are on hold, waiting and really wanting to come visit North Little Rock. They're excited about partnering with North Little Rock, and they're on hold until some of these things take place and the high school is ready to start having those conversations. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. St. Louis to tell you a little bit about what the high school is doing directly. And happy to answer any questions.
Well, good evening, Madam President, Dr. Paluski, and the school board. I'm super excited to be here this evening. Year 2 for me. I'm excited about what we have planned at the high school and just some great things for our students and our staff for this upcoming school year. As we're talking about implementing academies, the first step typically is the freshman academy, and that is your heartbeat of the school. You have to get your students, your 9th grade students, engaged so they'll graduate high school. And so freshman academies are essential. So I'm going to go to this fairly quickly, where I'm just going to quickly talk about the purpose of a freshman academy. I want you all to understand the structure of what our academy will look like and each role. So I just want you all to know that the 9th grade year is the most critical year in high school. I know everyone thinks it's your senior year, but by the time you get to your senior year, you should be coasting along. This is a time that if we don't capture our students, they will drop out of school. So it is essential that we wrap our arms around our 9th graders as they're coming in for middle school, and we give them the tools they need to be successful. So that is why we want to have a freshman academy at North Little Rock High School. So why Freshman Academy? You know, during this past school year, you know, I've sat up here a couple of times talking about our behavior, and we saw most of our behavior concerns with our 9th grade students. So the implementation of a Freshman Academy is going to help the whole student. It's going to provide them meaningful experiences as well as a supportive staff to help them with their transition. It's going to increase our students' passage rate. It's going to decrease those discipline referrals, and we're going to have kids coming to school because they're excited to be a part of what we're doing. So what is a freshman academy? It's a school within a school. So basically we have a place in our building where we're going to house all of our ninth graders, and they still get to participate in electives, performing arts. They get to be in athletics, but we have a place for them that they're on a team. They have one assigned administrator and a counselor. They have their own things to help them in their transition. All right, so the structure for our school specifically, we are going to have 4 teams because you cannot have a team with more than 150 students. It doesn't work if you have more than that. We want to make sure we have enough, just the right amount of students who are housed in a team so we can support them. They'll be in the D Tower, so if you've been in the high school, our students will be located in the D Tower. Each team will have a team leader, so we have 4 teachers that will be the leaders of their team. I'm all about building capacity. So we'll have a freshman academy assistant principal, and then we'll have team leaders. And so those team leaders will be facilitating a meeting every week with their team. And guess what we're going to be talking about? Where are those students who are falling through the gaps? What are those students who need support? How can we support them? And so they'll be doing that, but we're also going to be talking about what fun things can we do. We're going to be doing that commitment to graduate ceremony. We're going to be doing so many things to incentivize our students. We're going to be talking about the career fair that we're going to be going to. So those are the types of things we'll be doing at our team meetings. On each team, we have 5 core teachers: English, math, social studies, science, and a freshman seminar. Every 9th grade student will be taking freshman seminar. This is an amazing class that's going to set them up with the tools that they need in high school, really highlighting career exploration, learning about themselves. So we're super excited about that. And those teachers are so happy to be teaching freshman seminar. We have a freshman academy assistant principal who has come to support me this evening, and that is Miss Courtney Taylor. We'll have one dean of students who's going to be assigned to the freshman academy. We'll have a school counselor, and we'll also have an MCL that'll be working along our freshman academy to support our teachers and supporting their growth, and the PLCs that we will continue to be doing. So the freshman academy assistant principal, their role is to really support all of the teachers in the academy. They're going to help grow the teachers. They're going to be supporting those students, engaging with the business partners, discipline referrals, anything that they do as their assigned admin duties. The academy counselor, they're going to be attending those meetings. They're going to be meeting with small groups of students. They're going to be rescheduling students based off of their needs if that's necessary. They're going to be providing professional assistance and interventions for our students. The Dean of Students is that proactive role. We're already going to be looking at our 9th graders. We actually started getting 8th grade data. What are our students who need some extra TLC before they come to the high school, and we're already working with them. We've already had those conversations, working with our at-risk students and making sure they're on the right team with the right teachers. And then, of course, we have those team leaders where they're doing those meetings, they're meeting together, and they're collaborating with the academy leadership and maintaining those student documentation. We're excited about what's happening in the communication. Just so you all know that we did announce to our 8th grade families that we were starting a 9th grade academy back in February of 2022. We had our registration. All of our rising 9th graders came to the high school. They got to hear about the freshman academy. We're going to be sending out a 1-page document here actually next week to all of our families so they can know about 9th grade academy. And then we're going to be having a 9th grade orientation on August the 16th. And we're going to just make it a fun night to welcome all of our freshmen students and their parents. This is just a quick 1-pager so you all can see. If you can click on that link. Okay, maybe it might not take us there, so it's fine. But anyways, it's just a 1-page document that's just going to be shared with our families, and it just is an overview, a lot of pictures, great details that's going to be shared with our families. Ooh, I think I did that, and I was rapping my song. So just want to see what questions you all might have about academies or freshman academy. Again, we're super excited to be starting the work, and we have all of our teachers hired for our freshman academy. We've done multiple trainings. We actually have a second session next week. We've got freshman seminar. So the teachers are working. They are at the work, and they are ready to do freshman academy.
Ms. McLean, any questions?
I just want to say that I was at the high school when we had Keystone class, which is like the freshman seminar, and I thought it was awesome. I helped with that with the freshmen, and I am so happy to see this happening because we went through several years of going to meetings about the academies and things like that, but it never did materialize. So it's materializing
It
right now,
is.
and
It
I'm
is.
happy about that.
And for those who might not know, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and so I did the work of academies for 14 years, so I have a lot of knowledge, and so I hope that's going to be able to be, used in this process. Ms. Temple?
Okay, I think it all sounds wonderful, but I guess, when do the specific training with the partners come into play? Is that this year, or is that following, like, down the road? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have partners that are ready to come and look now because some of the other schools are a little bit further along. So we've been onboarding partners at other schools and as part of the initiative broadly already. We had 13 founding partners that were announced in October when we did the official designation as a Fort NGL community. So as soon as the high school and the district tell us they're ready to host a potential partner conversation, we have a couple that we'd love to bring. The difference in this model that I really want to highlight is there is a difference between a volunteer and a business partner. So we really work intentionally and strategically with presidents and CEOs to get a partnership that is corporate wide, right? So it's founded in a partnership agreement, an MOU sometimes, where from the highest individual down, the company or the organization is partnered with the school. And then they designate an individual that would work with the academy coach to plan out an entire year's worth of engagement and activities. That individual then at the organization would identify the volunteers within their company that would actually come and participate and engage at the school. So it is a little different approach for a lot of our schools throughout the county to make that mental shift, that it's not someone, you know from church that's gonna just come and speak to your class as a teacher, that we are trying to be really intentional and strategic. So those processes take a little longer, but we do have several that I would say have reviewed what all of the schools are doing, looked at the map, and ascertained that North Little Rock is one they want to come visit and are really interested in partnering with.
Okay, maybe I'm not I guess I thought that was part of what we would go to. So is this like the first year, and then in 10th grade they start doing, I guess I'm just trying to see.
Sure. So we would want partners to engage at all 4 years. So we would want them to be in the freshman seminar class talking about career exposure opportunities within their organization, having a booth at the Career Expo event in November, and then advising on curriculum and courses and pathways that the students would take as a 10th grader, 11th grader, and 12th grader. So then as you roll out year over year, their level of engagement would increase year over year. So they do things as a freshman, then as a sophomore they would host students for field trips. As a junior, they would host them for job shadowing. Senior, they would do capstone projects, internships. Throughout all of that, they could come in and guest lecture on specific topics, do mentorship, teacher externships. So we are asking them for a full spectrum of volunteer and engagement opportunities within that partnership agreement. Did that answer your question? Okay.
And the students the goal is this 9th grade class will select their career academy pathway for next school year, and we'll be looping it up every year.
Okay, great, thank you.
Ms. Williams?
Oh, Dr. St. Louis, I just want to commend you being visionary, because I know your discipline problems more than anything with 9th graders coming, trying to make that transition. And I am 100, I love it because you say they will have the necessary skills to get to develop into high school. And they didn't realize that in the 9th grade, the credits start. And this point that I see, I just want to thank you and your team, and you already got your team together. I thought it was more money down here, but
Yeah. And I do want to recognize Ms.
you
Taylor.
already got it. I see the people you already got.
Yes.
I didn't know if you needed more hires.
No, well, I mean, we do, not in the 9th grade,
Right,
but
right. Okay.
yes, but
Whatever you need, the board will be supportive in this effort, because we want our schools to just be great.
absolutely. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Not just better, but what Dr. St. Louis, great.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do want to recognize Ms. Taylor. She's done so much of the work. I'm all about building capacity, delegating leadership. And so Ms. Courtney Taylor has done a lot of the work, has been engaging in this process. We've been in a lot of meetings and trainings, and so we appreciate her work. Dr. White in providing, helping us get connected with Fort NGL and Nashville Hub with training. So I'm definitely part of the work, but so many other people have done so much to do what we're doing next year.
I have a question. You'll be in Tower D.
For 9th grade.
So previously, had they been just all over everywhere?
Kind of. We had a lot of our ninth graders already in the Tower D, but we're more strategic on their 4 teams will be all aligned together, so there won't be a whole lot of opportunities for them to just escape. Like, where are you going? Your class is right there in Tower D. They'll have a ninth grade lunch. We're close to the gym, so we just real strategic on where to place them.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Ms. Wonkum?
Got a few follow-up.
No, that's fine.
So the academy, we're not receiving or applying for a new LEA. So the academy is within the high school,
Correct.
just for clarification.
And it's the academies. So we will have, the goal is we would have hopefully 5 academies. 1 would be the ninth grade and then 4 career academies. So after their ninth grade year, they're going to select one of these 4. It's almost like selecting a major in high school.
Great.
So they get to have exposure to career opportunities. We want them to have some, field trip, field experiences, get some industry certifications. So some of our students, let's just say if we offer something with an EMT pathway, they can walk out of high school and go into be an EMT. So that's what we're hoping to gain, and is give them some career opportunities.
Perfect. So starting again, freshman, ninth grade, are we going to do tours this year? Have we started doing the ninth grade tours? In the years past, we've done freshman kind of orientation, thank you. Bringing them on, letting them know where they're going to go.
Yes, we're having we really want to do it all big. We're trying to plan it, but just kind of like a ninth grade bash where they can come in and do some tours. They get to meet us. They get their computers. We just want to make it really fun and exciting for them to come in, get a tour of the building. Most of our students had the tours when we did 8th grade tours. We want the parents to be able to come in and see our school when we start back in August.
Okay. Have we also cross-referenced, I guess, with Ford G&L, with the partners that we are bringing on, with the individuals, the businesses that want to be here with us and assist us? Have we looked at the volunteer community service hours? Is that something that is possible? I know it's separate, but correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this year our graduates have to have so many hours to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So can we cross-reference any of that? Is that possible? Again, I'm just looking to build that relationship.
I think it might be possible down the line. Definitely don't know what that exactly would look like, but I'm open to, those conversations and anything that's going to help our students. That's what we're about.
Yeah, definitely. Dean of Students. I saw on here that we have our own Dean of Students for ninth grade. So correct me if I'm wrong again. So we had 1 Dean of Students for the entire high school.
Mm-hmm.
Did we hire a second
I
one?
have
for ninth
3.
grade?
I worked hard to get my 3. Like, I was working, so
Okay.
we will have 3 for the high school.
All right, very good, very good. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. West?
I don't have any questions. It was pretty self-explanatory on everything, but I just want to say, to you, thank you for, for partnering up and being here and being supportive. And Dr. St. Louis, I tell you all the time, you're doing a great job, and I appreciate what you're doing and your hard work. And thank you so much.
Thank you all. We appreciate you.
Your whole team.
Yes, everybody, and all the support. Thank you.
And ditto.
Thank you, Paul.
What she just said. Y'all are doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Come back. I got you.
We're still on the information items. We're at 10.2, 2022-2023 ESOL program overview.
This is my favorite one here.
Madam President, members of our Board of Education, I will welcome Ms. Marshall, our new coordinator of ESOL and world languages. And also Dr. White. I don't know if Dr. White's going to join her, but as the executive director of Curriculum Innovation and Design, to give us a very high-level, quick overview of not only our ESOL program, our ESOL data, and some changes that we're proposing. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. This is my official accommodation in good school form in case my old eyes can't read some of the slides up there, in case you're wondering. Dr. White, would you like to say anything? Okay. I am just going to give you a quick, keyword quick, overview of the ESOL program to try to clarify just a few questions you might have about what the program, some of the terminology that you might not have quite understood, to clarify that for you. Talk a little bit about our current curriculum and the proposals that we would like to see. I wanted you to see the numbers, and I wanted to explain what you're looking at here. Active students are people that have kids that have taken the screener, what's called the ELPA screener. They have not scored proficient from the get-go. Anybody that fills out a home language usage form, which as parents you probably have had to fill that out, any language except English, those kids are mandated to take a screener. If they're proficient, they move into monitor status. If not, they become an active EL, which stands for English learner. So our monitored kids up there are kids that have been in the program a while or were proficient off the bat. We still monitor them for 4 years, which I am a huge proponent of that. If not, especially when kids go from the 5th grade level, maybe they were great there, but they sink in 6th grade, 8th grade to the high school. If we're not monitoring them, we don't know how they're doing. So we have a firm program in place for that, and I'm very proud of that. Monitor complete. The kids have gone through their 4 years. They are out of the active EL program, but this is a confusing thing that people kind of don't understand. If you see the total number of ESL students, ESL are all of our kids that have ever been in the program at all. So if someone asks you how many ESL students do we have, it's a 772, which is, as you know, with our 8,193 students, it's almost 10% are our ELs. So I really appreciate that we're making an effort for these kids. 89, almost 90% Spanish, and of course I listed at the bottom, we have a really intriguing array of different languages there. I wanted you to see 2 years ago versus this past year. As you're probably very aware of the ACT Aspire summative assessment that all of our kiddos take 3rd through 10th grade. The ELPA 21 is the EL summative assessment that's state mandated. So you can see when you just glance at that, the 2 years aren't that different. Major difference, last year we tested more kids because we had more kids in the program. Our proficient, the gold bar, proficient numbers went up some, but so did our bottom numbers. You'll need to know this as well. The ELPA is scored 1 to 5, 4 and 5 being proficient, 1 and 2 being beginning, and then progressing, the middle ground is a 3. Our current ESOL programming, we're using EL Achieve. It's basically a pull-out program, almost a rotational scenario. I met with all the principals. Usually what it looked like was a 30-minute pull out, and by the time they got to all the kids really got pulled out maybe once a week, twice a week if they were lucky for 30 minutes. EL Achieve mainly works on speaking, listening, and some acculturation. This is just a little bit deeper dive into the ELPA data. It speaks for itself. The major points of concern that jump out, the 0%, district versus state comparison. Anything that's not high is concerning to me. But again, anything the 11% and under, major areas of concern. Here's the proficiency, which when I mentioned earlier, the 4s and 5s are proficient students. So what this is telling you, these are our elementary schools, obviously. I'm just going to look at Amboy to give you an idea. 48 kids at Amboy that tested, only 7 of those were proficient. Again, major red flags here, Crestwood with a 0, 7th Street with a 0, Lakewood with a 1, Ridge Road, only 20 out of 146. We have to get those numbers up because when you think this is just basic reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and if we can't support our ELs in a way that they can grasp hold of that, all their other core classes, I mean, can you imagine? It's like the Charlie Brown scenario.
Will you say that again, please?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I have a problem looking at this. Crestwood had 18 students. Nobody was proficient. And then you had Lakewood. They had 7 students, and only 1 student was proficient. Am I reading this correctly? And 7th Street had 9 students, and nobody was proficient in that. So, say what you said again to me so I can understand
I-
why they are zero.
Right. I will be very transparent because that's how I am. EL Achieve has a lot of good points. It's the only thing we've ever been given statewide to grab hold of as an EL curriculum. So I'm not trying to downplay the fact that we use it. However, it's not teaching kids to read and write and even the speaking and listening in a way that transfers into the classroom. So we're working so hard. This whole team has been put into place to grow all of our kids. But when the only thing our EL kids that can't read or write or speak or even understand is getting is that same curriculum, I mean, they're set up for failure. So basically, we weren't teaching them to read and write in English. If I was just going to lay it out there.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Tell the truth, Ruth.
Yeah, there you go. Same thing, the numbers here, especially 7th, 8th grade middle school and the high school. When you look at those 3 kids proficient out of 74, 16 out of 135. And I'll tell you, it makes my heart hurt when I look at the high school with those numbers because we only have those kids for a few years and they're out in the world. And if we can't make them successful and at least where they can read and write and speak and listen, and then we say, see ya, good luck, again, we're just setting them, we're failing, and I don't want to do that. I want to make a change. This chart, again, it was just in the intent to hit home with the impact of what we have going on here. Where you see the numbers, those are the actual grade levels at each school that has 0 proficiency. So what that's telling you, Amboy, out of 9 kindergartners, none of them were proficient. Out of 9 first graders, none of them were proficient. So the NAs mean that school didn't have any kids on that grade level that tested at all. The gray boxes, we did have proficiency. Look at Ridge Road, 19 kindergartners. That's all that tested. None of them were proficient. This is secondary schools. The only grade level here that has 0 proficiency of COE in 11th grade, we tested 9, none were proficient. And this is where the rubber meets the road to me. This is the needs analysis. When I explained the ELPA grading, where I said 4s and 5s were proficient, go you, you're ready to hang with the rest of the kids, and 1s and 2s were the bottom. The kids you're looking at here, 178 elementary, 145 secondary, are all level 1s with a few 2s thrown in. So that totals to 323 kids. And if we take out the 11 seniors that graduated, add in about 38, 40 new kinders that will be coming on this year, that's 350 kids. So out of our active EL, 65% of them are level 1s. And that just speaks volumes. I could have really just skipped and shown you this slide because the impact there is very important. What I'm proposing is that we implement a 90-minute language acquisition class at all levels based on best practices. I'm not going to read those to you. Those are not only best practices that our ESOL staff put into place, but also that the 2 new resources I'm wanting to implement are also based around these EL best practices. One of the resources I would like to add is a company called Reading Horizons. The discovery portion is K-5. Down in the middle, Reading Horizons Elevate is the secondary component to that. This is basically, you've heard the RISE initiative, Scarborough's wrote. This is going to be direct, explicit, scripted lessons that address the bottom level of that. The phonemic awareness, the phonics, vocab, decoding, spelling, grammar, and writing. That's even for high school seniors. It's now, again, you remember Elevate is geared towards the older kids, older standards. But we're not going to let them have those holes. You know, we know our elementary kids have holes we're trying to fill. Well, these kids do too. You can't just automatically put them into here's Romeo and Juliet. Even if they are picking up language on, outside and at lunch and they're beginning to speak, we've got to start with the basics with them. The thing I'm so proud about proposing this company to you is this is the company that Los Angeles Unified School District is using. They just signed a new 5-year contract with them. They have 92,000 ELs. That means it's successful. Miami-Dade is using this. Houston and San Antonio ISD is using this. Closer to home, I spoke with the curriculum director at Marion School District. They just signed a 5-year contract because it works with ELs. They have 46% EL, 95% socio disadvantaged. It works. Embedded, I'm not, again, going to read all that. I know you haven't to expedite through, but Reading Horizons, what the difference is in that and what we already are using in the regular classrooms, it has EL embedded techniques, components, videos, prompts for the teachers. All those best practices, when you hear it, you see it, you speak it, you see real world pictures and videos, it's embedded in that. The next EL Achieve, what we already have, Lexia Core 5. Lexia Core 5 is the elementary component. Lexia Power Up is the secondary component. We actually implemented as a district Lexia Core 5. You may remember hearing about that last year with the grant. It is a great supplemental program, and it works again for ELs. I literally go in and put the home language in. If they need to hear it in their home language for support, they click a button and it reads it. We can't test or assess or teach in a home language, but we can reinforce understanding in a home language. It's built into this. And Reading Horizons has that as well. I don't think I mentioned that. It has automatically Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction embedded. If the kids still struggle at that, and this, remember, we're talking not just EL kids that used it. These were all of our kids, K-5. If they still don't get it, then the teacher is prompted and given a scripted lesson. Johnny needs help on this today or tomorrow, and she can pull this one student, or he can pull these 3 students that need the same thing, address it right then in real time, and then they go on. So when we say every child whatever it takes, but we're giving a can lesson to the whole class, this is how that we reach every kid, whatever it takes, whatever their specific need is. So I'm a big proponent of this. The Lexia I implemented in Van Buren, it works. Lexia English is another component part. This is only for the kids that need the speaking and listening portion. So the ELP is broken into reading, writing, speaking, and listening. If they score 1s and 2s in that, then we will also put them on Lexia English. Quick story, I had 2 high school brothers that came midway through the year in Van Buren last year. They spoke no English. We got them settled in the right classes with the ESOL staff. They got on Lexia English. 3 weeks after being on that, they saw one of my ESOL staff in the parking lot and said, "Good morning, how are you?" And this teacher knew they didn't speak English, you know. And she's like, "What is going on?" And he said, "It's Alexia." And that's all I needed to hear. It works. Here is a proposed schedule of what the 90 minutes would look like. Ideally at the elementary level, we would pull the kiddos out during their reading block of time. At the high school level, we actually, these are DESE course codes that we've already approved here in North Little Rock, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention. As long as we have a certified teacher that can teach English, if that teacher is ESL certified or team teaches with one of my ESOL staff, then we can use these course codes for that language acquisition class, and the kids get credit. So instead of being in my language acquisition class and the next period going to 9th grade English, that is their 9th grade English. They are addressing grade level standards. They are addressing the EL standards in a meaningful way with ESOL staff, ESL certified people teaching it in a way that they understand and they grow. Something I didn't mention about the Reading Horizons and Lexia. At the secondary level, they've tracked data. These kids, if it's implemented correctly, gain multiple years in 1 year. So they grow 2 to 3 years worth of academic growth within 1 year, which is so imperative, like we talked about, only having those high school kids for a few years. So it's a very good scenario that we're proposing here. The course code at the bottom is a generic ELL, ESL course code that DESE has put out there for us, and I will show you here where that course code can be used. I also would like to propose that we have a 45-minute class. We're actually mandated to have an official newcomers program, is usually what it's called. This is what they're talking about. You may hear RAILS mentioned. That stands for Recently Arrived English Learners. These are the kids that are truly new to the country, typically never speak English, and they're considered a RAIL their first year, second year, and third year. So basically, right now, and I know we've already enrolled some kids the past few weeks that'll be in this too, we have 128 kids in the district K-12 that a few years ago weren't even in this country. And the way I look at this, and kind of to push the importance of doing this, can you imagine moving to China with your babies and sending them to school and saying, see ya, hope you succeed? They need that extra support. This is in addition to the 90 minutes. But again, this is only for those new kids. Once the students, next year when we take the ELPA, if they score proficient, they're no longer in these programs I'm talking about. They can hang with the rest of the, in the regular course codes and with the regular classes. This is not a program they get into and they stay forever. Our goal is to make them grow with their language acquisition so they are successful with their peers in the regular classroom. Proposed budget. This is self-explanatory. Funding source, ESSER. I do want to explain. I mentioned earlier that we did implement Lexia Core 5 in the elementary schools, and it was under a grant last year. That grant has now gone away. So what we did here, since I was explaining the programming, the budget line item you see by K5 and Lexia Power Up 6.8, those dollar amounts are all inclusive for all students. I already had it proposed for you for just the EL students, but because we are proposing that it was successful, it is successful, we would like to continue Lexia Core 5 with K5 and to push the vertical alignment with secondary. We added that. So again, actually the first 3 line items are K-12, all-inclusive, all students. Then Lexia English, Reading Horizons. Staffing through K-9, we'll use the existing ESOL staff that we already have in place. Because of the course code scenario I told you about, we do need 1 FTE at the high school level, 10-12 high school level, and that will be funded through Title I. Timeline, again, pretty self-explanatory. The thing that excites me about this is the companies are going to come to us and continue to come to us for training. And I think that's a huge component part. When you see the on-site coaching, they're going to give us a few months after our initial training with them. They're going to fly their experts in again and spend 3 days going into each of these classrooms and modeling and team teaching with our teachers. And they're going to come back and do it again in February. So the corporate support here is really over the top. This is support from me. I know these programs, so I'll be in all the trainings. I'll provide extra PD trainings where needed, and I'm just going to be in the trenches in the classroom seeing what they need, modeling lessons, working on lesson planning with them. Data is my thing. I will be set up where I can see the whole district so I can say, Mrs. Smith, have you looked at Johnny or Juan today because they're dipping down in this or they need extra support here? I'll go into the classrooms that are showing the data, real on-time data of what they're doing. That if they need support, I'm there. Lesson planning, modeling, I mentioned, facilitate ongoing PD, classroom walkthroughs, and then just working with the administrators to fulfill needs, family needs. family acknowledgement, family support when they come to the schools, open house, meet the teacher. I mean, that's all under our umbrella, and these families have to know they're welcome. They have to be greeted in their home language if possible when they come in the door. Have to have a sign in Spanish is 90%, so I know we have other languages, but at least have a Spanish welcome sign and school maps in Spanish. I mean, it's my job to think through from the EL angle, everything we do. That's why I asked Dr. White if I could, be in the loop with the principals for any new initiatives we might do, new programming, even the fun stuff, so I can make sure those letters get sent home to these parents, and that when the parents and families do come, they're welcomed in a way that's meaningful to them, and we let them know we're taking care of their babies. Do you have any questions? I know I rushed through that.
Ms. West?
I don't have any questions. I think it's all great information, and and I know that administration and teachers are doing all that we can, and all that you can, rather. The numbers are definitely concerning, but I know that, everybody's going to work hard to try to turn it around and bring those numbers up. And, if you need some support or whatever, make sure that you stay in contact with Dr. White and, let us know whatever you need so we can make sure that each child is educated properly.
Thank you for that.
Ms. Wonkum?
And welcome, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Ms. Williams?
I want to give you a compliment too. I know what I was saying, but when you skipped the part where you compared the district with the state, and there was some good stuff there, because I was most impressed with the third graders and the fourth graders and the sixth graders and the ninth graders. There was some good where they exceeded in the 12th grade, believe it or not, to a certain extent, they exceeded the state standards.
Right.
And so there are some good things going on.
There are
But I
some.
would those others just kind of caught my attention more. But there are some teachers who are actually teaching and doing a good job.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Temple?
Very good presentation, and glad you're here, but I
Thank
have
you.
one question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't understand how all the curriculum works together, but I know we have a reading curriculum and all this, so does this just fit with that curriculum, or are we
So
replacing that
basically,
curriculum?
both the Lexia and the Reading Horizons are both on DESE's approved science of reading list, just like Foundations, Hegarty is on that list, Wit and Wisdom is on the list. The difference is that, remember all the things I said were geared towards the EL kids, that these two programs, the reason we're not just sitting down with Wit and Wisdom is the program itself isn't geared towards EL kids. These do have those components. It's it's extra support for the kids. It's truly extra support for the staff, the teachers. It's everything embedded in these programs are geared towards the EL learners, even the formation of how their letters and everything. So basically, this is going to complement go along with what the other kids are doing in Hegarty Foundations, Wit and Wisdom. While they're sitting in the classroom, these kids are receiving the same phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, all of that, in a way that the ELP standards, we're addressing them in an EL savvy way instead of having them sit in the regular classroom where it's all going over their head. So again, this is only hopefully a temporary scenario for them. Once we get them successful, they will no longer even be in these language acquisition classes. When they can stand on their own, they're going to be in our regular core curriculum supported by everything is going on. So this is just a new component part to beef up the EL kids to get them to where they don't have to be pulled out for anything. Because to be honest, I don't like pulling a kid out as an administrator. But then when you think these kids don't know what's going on, they don't understand. So for them to sit there year after year after year and not gain the language acquisition skills, they're never going to get it. It doesn't matter if they're there for tier 1 or not, because it's doing this. Once we get them on board, and it truly, guys, it does not take these kids. These kids do this. Once you support them in the right way, that's why we should have kindergartners that are proficient. Because if you're doing it the right way, they just take off. I mean, the majority, when I come before you next year, I mean, these numbers won't be near this high. In 2 years, it'll probably be 25% of what you see. And that is not an exaggeration. So they complement in an EL savvy way is the best way I can describe that.
Okay, well, I guess I got confused because you said you got it for all of them, so I thought maybe it was replacing, but that's okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, well, Lexia, and no, I'm glad you said that because I probably did not explain that well. Lexia, Core 5, and Power Up are not EL programs. They are just programs that have component parts that actually suit the EL kids too. They are a great supplemental program that goes along with the wit and wisdom and everything else we're doing. That's why it works also for the kids that aren't EL. As far as the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and where I said it red flags the teachers and they can hit those spots, the regular classroom teachers, that's what they're doing. Or in win time, that what I need time that the elementaries do, a lot of the elementaries, because I met with all the principals, that's what they're doing during that time. So it's beneficial for all these kids. And then to bring that to the 6, 8, 9, 12 level, it's just going to be huge because, again, you're filling those holes that we don't even know where the holes are with those secondary kids, to be honest.
And one of the things I just want to add is that, not only did Ms. Marshall come in and do a deep dive into our data, she also took this plan to every single principal. So she did a listen and learn tour with all the principals to get their feedback. So this plan has already been articulated to them. They are on board. They are supporting it. Just to add to the Lexia piece, she's absolutely right. So that Lexia will simply complement what teachers are already doing in the classroom. And we're just making sure that it is afforded to all students and not just one particular subgroup.
Great, thank you.
Ms. McLean?
Are the Reading Horizon and the Lexia, are they like an online program or?
The Reading Horizons, the elementary, is only direct instruction from the teacher. The secondary, it has a technology component because they did years worth of studies and they found that works best. It's not all technology. It's about a split, or maybe a 60-40, 60 direct instruction from the teacher with a 40% technology piece. And the Lexia is true blended learning. So basically, the elementary classrooms already have Lexia time where the kids are on the computer. It is a technology-based program. And then what we'll do then, we'll look at that data, those red flags, and when the kids aren't going to be sitting in the 90 minutes with the ESOL staff doing Lexia, what we'll do is we'll work on those red flags with them in ESOL fashion, so they get that. And the regular classroom teachers, the core classroom teachers, will be doing the same thing with their kids.
So I know that Achieve costs nothing, right? But are you recommending that we don't use that, we just go to the Reading Horizons and Lexia?
We will still, at least for right now, be doing EL Achieve with a lot of the schools don't have that many ELs. So when I talk about 90 minutes, that may be the first, let's just say the first 90 minutes of the day. And I have ESOL staff there till 3 o'clock. So we will still be able to do some of the EL Achieve components with the kids that aren't on the level 1 and 2 list. We still have level 3, 4, and 5 kids that we can still use that with. What I suggest is we keep EL Achieving for now. This year, let's see how it goes. Let's look at our data. Let's talk to the teachers. Let's talk to the principals throughout the year and at the end of next year before it's time to renew and see, are we getting the biggest bang for our buck out of EL Achieve? If it is still playing a vital role, even though it's not the teaching them to read and write role, it does help with acculturation. It does help affirm those speaking and listening skills. If there's a need and it's fulfilling that need, then we'll proceed with that being a component part of the curriculum. If it's not, then maybe
So this
it's
next
time to
year's
let it
kinda like
go.
saying the jury's out. We'll see
Right.
what
I
happens
don't
this
want
year
to,
with it.
I wasn't here to see it myself, to discuss it, and we're trying to implement a lot of new things. I don't want to let go totally of something until we see how it all meshes together and look at the data, and then we'll make I can come back to you guys the end of this current school year or summer of next, after this current school year, upcoming school year, and I'll be able to lay it out there. Yes, I think we need to keep it, or I actually recommend letting it go.
So how many teachers do we have grades K through 9? Because you're recommending one for 10 through 12.
Right. So I am very lucky to say we have 18 ESL certified teachers. And to be honest, I've never seen a district that supports the staff, puts their money where their wants are, because you can have all of this in place, but usually districts don't have the staffing to do it. Now, I've got the staffing, and we just got to put everything in place to make the best use of that staff. So the high school has 4 ESOL teachers. One of those is going to take up the 9th grade ESOL position and is English certified. That's why the 9th grade we've got covered with our existing, but we do need someone in the 10-12 position. But yeah, all the others were covered because we have 1 or 2 ESOL staff at all the other schools.
Are there any of these programs, the EL Achieve, or the Horizons and Alexia, can the students use them at home, or do they need to be on campus?
No, they can be at home. They can use their phones. They can use tablets. They can use desktops. That's why it's so great. I hope we don't have to pivot again, but if we do, these kids have everything they need.
What about home access to the internet? Do we know about these students?
I don't know yet, so that's definitely something that we'll check into when we see who shows up, who we've got in each class. We'll definitely check that because, to be honest, I'm glad you brought that up. The kids love these. They want to be on these programs during breaks, Christmas break, spring break. They're like, can we do it? Can we do it? We want to grow. We want to do this, that, and the other. And we keep the kids informed of the data. They see their growth. Plus, they just know. I understand. I can read. I can write. So they're really into it. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We'll make sure that we can provide hotspots or we have sufficient internet coverage for the kiddos.
And also, Lexia was used in summer school as well, and we'll use it in after school as well. So,
oh, okay, good. What you've put together here is amazing. The data speaks for itself. You've put it in every possible configuration that gives us a lot of concern when we look at some of this, but also when you've just said that about having the right number of teachers, and if we get the right programs, should see a lot of progress this year. So
yes.
I look forward to this report next year.
Thank you so much.
I don't have any questions. I just want to say welcome to North Little Rock.
Thank you very much.
Great presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You excited?
Yeah. Can you tell?
We're still under information items. We're going over the 2022-2023 school uniforms, just getting ready for school to start.
Madam President, members of our Board of Education, it's come to our attention that within our community, I know that we used to have school uniforms a couple years ago, but I just for the public is that we have no intention to go to school uniforms. It is status quo. If parents go to the handbook, this parent-student handbook, they can go to page 78, which will clearly identify the dress code for the school district. So I did, Madam President, I knew you brought that to our attention, and we just wanted to publicize that. That'll also go out in our top 5 this week, just to reiterate that to our parents so that they know as they're thinking about back to school and buying clothes that there's no uniform requirement at this time.
What about the
Page 78.
And
Page.
thank you, Dr. Pelosi. Miss Karen, she sent us, all of us, an email.
Yeah.
And I want to say to her, everything is fine. You don't have to worry about anything. The clothes that you've purchased for your children are just fine. Thank you.
Also, there was a mention about, because obviously, the air, we're struggling in here, for the senior pictures.
Yes, just a couple of those are kind of back to school things, but yes, we'll have air for, senior pictures. I know there was a question, and we'll give a lot of this at our back to school report, which will be next week. I believe there was a question about, will we go back to turning on our water fountains versus our water bottle distributors? Not at this time, based upon still the recommendation from the health department due to germs and bacteria. We're not going to turn our water fountains on, but we do have water bottle filling stations that we will continue. Also, as part of a back to school, all of our back to school lists are on our website. We'll distribute those again as well. We're also doing Mr. Barnes is working on it as we go to next week, an extra special superintendent's, not a top 5, but a top 10 things you need to know to go back to school. So we'll be communicating that as we ramp up here just within 30 days.
Awesome. Thank you for that update, because I know tax-free weekend is coming up.
Yes,
so
6
we
and
just
7th.
wanted to,
Yes, ma'am.
put that out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We are ready for action items.
Madam President, the action item 11.1, which is the employment of personnel, the superintendent recommends the employment of personnel as discussed in executive closed session.
Madam President?
Yes.
I so move that we accept the employment of personnel that Dr. Paluski suggested.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we accept the employment of personnel presented by Dr. Paluski. Being that it is personnel, there can be no discussion, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove? It has been adopted. 11.2, fiscal year 24 proposed budget of expenditures.
Madam President, I'll call one of our dear colleagues, our financial advisor, Mr. Scott Beersley, for the superintendent's recommendation as proposed budget of expenditures. Welcome, Mr. Beersley.
Glad to be here. Always fun to hear about what Forward NGL has going. Glad to see it's finally getting started this year in North Little Rock. So this is a quick reminder that we're going to do something tonight that doesn't really matter, but you're required to do it by law. So there's a motion before you to adopt a proposed budget for the 23-24 school year, even though we haven't started the 22-23 school year. And the reason for that is it's state law that you put the millage before the voters each year, even though you're requesting no change. No increase, no decrease, no extension, absolutely no change. You're required by law to present it to the voters. You've chosen to do so during the November general election. It will be on the ballot. If everybody votes no, it will not matter. Your millage will remain the same because it was previously approved by the voters. So if you wouldn't mind making the motion, then Ms. Colquitt's going to run it in the newspaper one time, 60 days
Do you see
before
the motion?
the election, and
Madam
you will
Chair?
have met the requirement of the law.
You got it?
You got it.
You got a resolution, or is it just a
It's
statement?
a suggestion motion. We have it.
Okay, go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the attached proposed budget of expenditures with tax levy for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023, to and including June 30th, 2024, and to approve all related election documents.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we adopt the attached proposed budget of expenditures with tax levy for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023, to and including June 30th, 2024, and to approve all related election documents. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted.
The easiest thing you have to do tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Beardsley.
We're down to the next action item, 11.3, pre-K playground equipment purchase.
Madam President, I will welcome our colleagues. Number one will be Ms. Maribel Sims, as you know, is our coordinator of pre-K at Pikeview, and she's going to be passing the baton to Miss Chris, who you met today, our new coordinator of early childhood and school readiness. They're going to give you a very, very quick overview of our pre-K equipment.
Emphasize, very quick.
Good evening. We're here to request to purchase new playground equipment for 6 pre-K sites. Those sites include Glenview, Meadow Park, 7th Street, Boone Park, Amboy, and Pikeview. This will be in addition to what they already have. It will come out of the pre-K funding.
Madam President?
Yes.
I so move that we accept the purchase that Dr. Paluski is going to recommend to us tonight with the pre-K playground equipment for
Pre-K.
6 school sites.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the 2022-2023 pre-K playground equipment purchase that was presented for the 6 sites.
Correct.
Any discussion?
Questioning.
Yes.
Oh, I just want a question from y'all. So like at Glenview, Meadow Park, Ambar, Boone Park, 7th Street, and Pikeview, these are the schools that actually have your pre-K students in it?
Correct.
Okay. Is a room accessible and available for you, or do they still, you know, most of the times you go to the schools, they have a little area for your preschools. But all of that, you all have looked at that, the
Yes,
accessibility?
We went with Davis Playground, and they went and measured and looked at what's already there, and they're gonna build onto it, so,
Okay.
yes.
It won't be with the big kids, is it?
No, they have their own.
That's what I
private
thought, the little
pre-K.
space. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
Welcome,
you,
Ms.
ladies.
Chris.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you, welcome, come back again.
11.4, 2022-2023 supplemental ESOL curriculum.
Madam
Madam-
President?
Go right ahead.
Let somebody
Go right
else
on ahead.
No,
make a
I'm
motion.
hungry.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Keep it rolling.
down.
I so move that we accept the proposed program of the ESOL curriculum.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the 2022-2023 supplemental ESOL curriculum. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. 11.5, 2022-2023 child nutrition contracts. Superintendent?
Madam President, the superintendent recommends the approval of 22-23 child nutrition contracts as presented at our last workshop.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
I so move that we accept the child nutrition contract SY for the year 22-23. With Miss Mary Lee Daniels, she presented at the last workshop that we had.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the 2022-2023 child nutrition contracts that was presented. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. 2022-2023 federal assurances.
Valerie, you're up.
I move that we approve the
Thank you.
2022-2023 federal assurances that the superintendent has recommended to us and presented by Ms. Ratliff.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the 2022-2023 federal assurances that was presented. Any discussion?
I done got
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. Legal transfers, 11.7.
11.7, Madam President, members of our Board of Education, the superintendent recommends the approval of legal transfers as presented to you here in public session.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
I so move that we accept Dr. Paluski's recommendation for transfer.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the legal transfers as we have received before us. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It has been adopted. 11.8, 2022-2023 North Little Rock Board of Education meeting dates.
Cindy?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the meeting dates as proposed in the agenda.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the 2022-2023 North Little Rock Board of Education meeting dates. Any discussion?
none.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. We're disposition of minutes. You have 11.9, 11.10, and 11.11.
Ms. McLean?
I move that we approve the special meeting minutes on June 16th. Can I do all three of them at the same
Mhm.
time? June 16th, 2022, June 23rd, and July 7th, 2022.
Okay.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the disposition of meetings for 11.9, 11.10, and 11.11. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. We're down to number 12, the entire consent agenda.
Madam President, the Superintendent recommends the approval of consent agenda items include 12.1 bank reconciliation, 12.2 monthly financial reports, 12.3 business office items, 12.4 payment of regular bills, 12.5 facility use request, and 12.6 approval of the consent agenda.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I so move we accept the consent agenda recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
It has been properly moved that we accept the consent agenda 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, and 12.6. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been adopted. We're down to future meeting events. We have our regular board meeting, which will be, the next meeting will be Thursday, August the 4th. We have a regular board meeting on August the 18th. Some of us will be leaving on Saturday morning, going to the South Regional Conference in New Orleans. Safe travels to everybody. Learn a lot, come back safely. Also, before you leave today, if you would check with Miss Rhonda, we are needing a budget workshop, and there are 3 dates, either Thursday, August the 25th, Monday, August the 29th, or Tuesday, August the 30th. So before you leave today, please let Ms. Rhonda know which date you would be available for.
Okay.
All righty, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
I so move that we adjourn this meeting today.
Second.